Hey, hello. Welcome to Stay Out Your Lane podcast. I am very cute today. I'm sorry. I had to go extra. I know you guys only see me and know me in certain spaces, but I have to let y'all know I do this like in real life. Like I am really Dr. Mr. Ferguson. But let me tell you, if this is your very first time, welcome to Stay Out Your Lane, the podcast. I am super excited because this month is when we pharmacists take over. I mean, like, we're always in charge, right? But this month, this is our month. And so this week is like our extra special week. So we get to be extra. This is the very first time I've worn my hat since graduation. I had a lot of hair then. So it fits like extra roomy this time. But listen, this is your first time. Stay out your lane always guarantees 4 things. 1, stories. Stories of people who have not only experienced success, but also some type of struggle in order to get to where they are, right? Because I'm not here to play games with you. Life is not all good all the time, right? But we always make it through. So we're here to hear from people who have done the thing and are still doing it no matter what's in front of them. The second thing that we always offer is indeed an offer. It's not good enough for us to do the work. We want to make sure that you're getting in there and that you're using some actionable to-dos, right? So you're taking the information from us and you're applying it to your own life. Third, we want you to yield to the greatness that's inside of you, right? And because we all got it. And if I had to be the person to tell you and pull it out of you, that's my job. That's what we're going to do. Hold on, let me put some mute. I think it's a little loud. Hold on. Now, the other thing, last but not least, is L, to leverage. You have to be able to leverage the things that are already inside of you because we already have greatness, right? Yes. Now, listen, I went to school with some amazing people. Now, not everybody I went to school with is on here, but I have 5 amazing people who are all doctors of pharmacy who are staying completely out of their lane. Yes, let me just give you that one myth, and I'm going to just debunk it really quickly. Our degree does not equal your Google search. Do I need to say it again for the people in the back? Listen, I'm for real because y'all come to the counter and y'all act like y'all know everything. No, y'all don't know me. Y'all don't know all our stories. But listen, we got some people who are no longer standing behind the counters unless they want to. They're doing some phenomenal things. I'm talking about nonprofit organizations. I'm talking about some serious titles in the pharmacy world. But it's not typical. You know, most times you think, okay, 15 minutes, I'm in and out, I'm doing this drive-through, which we hate that, by the way. We hate the drive-through. Just in case y'all were wondering, we don't like it. Because it's not your medicine to go. Unless you have a real reason, get on out. But anyway, I want to jump into some of this because we have so many amazing guests. And let me tell you, right now, we have actually the Queen Bee. Not Beyonce. Not Beyonce, but she is just as fabulous, if not more fabulous. I had to bring her out, and I bring them out one by one, but I want you guys to stick with us because there's a lot of people doing some amazing things. And especially if you're a pharmacist, I want to make sure that you are listening to this episode. So what I want you to do, if you do nothing else, I want you to share this Facebook Live with your friends because it's not just good enough for us to be on here together, right? We got to share the love. And I want you guys to meet the Queen Bee. Now, listen, Dr. Andrea Dunn is no stranger to pharmacy, but also no stranger to staying out of her lane, right? She is leading a nonprofit in the state of Florida that reaches across the United States completely domestically. And she is leading the charge with Let's Be High, meaning let's what? Behave. Y'all got to know how to behave yourselves in these streets. And she is here to help us with all of that. Let me bring her up. None other than Dr. Andrea Dunn. Hello, ma'am.
Hey.
How are you?
I'm doing good. How are you?
I'm doing great. I'm really excited to have you on. Thank you for joining.
Thank you for having me.
Yes. Look, I know you used to speaking on big stages, honey, but we got this little podcast today, and we are here for all of it. I'm excited. So how are you feeling?
I feel so good. Thank you so much for giving me the opportunity to speak on your podcast today. I'm so excited.
Yes, I'm excited to have you and all of our guests. Look, we all have some type of ties to Howard University. So big ups to HU, the real HU, for all those who are wondering. The real HU to all my friends. The real. So look, let's behave, mama. Let's talk about some of the things you're doing. first, I want you to give everybody just a quick introduction to who you are, some of the things you've accomplished, and what is going on with Beehive, the real Beehive, baby.
Absolutely. So right now, Let's Beehive is a nonprofit organization that I started over 4 years ago, where Let's Beehive stands for Let's Be HIV Educated. So what we do is provide HIV education, awareness, and prevention services to children and adults throughout Orlando is where we started, but we have reached out into other um, areas of different states and everything like that. So, but what we do is literally just really want to help increase the awareness of HIV. And it was really important to me too to include children in this conversation and teenagers,
Wow.
because that's a part of our mission, is to include it for children, because it's a conversation or a topic that is not really talked about for children when it comes to sex, and that's the most common way HIV is spread. So we definitely want to increase awareness, reduce new cases of HIV, and also help individuals who are living with HIV to be able to reach therapeutic outcomes. So, I had to add in, the pharmacy component of mental health therapies, because it's the medications that are actually helping individuals living with HIV to be able to live a normal and healthy life, similar to individuals who do not have HIV. So, in a nutshell, that's basically Beehive.
In a nutshell, you being modest, but I'm here for it. Listen, I'm excited. We're going to have some questions for you, because I'm really excited about the fact, and I appreciate what you're doing in the community, because you're not only advocating for people who are, with more preventative, but you're also advocating for people who have already been diagnosed. And sometimes we forget about that genre of people, because you just kind of shove them off. And I'm sure communities and families, they just push them to the side, but you actually embrace them and allow them to know and feel all of what you're at. And that background is fabulous, by the way. You are all the way together, always.
Y'all, this is special for me to even share this, because this is a sneak peek. We're going to have our grand opening soon for the office.
Yeah.
So I'm actually sitting in the conference room right now. So that's why you're getting a little bit of a glimpse of what's in our new office.
See, and that's what I love about my guests, because you're staying out your lane. You have done something phenomenal. We're going to get into it a little bit more, but you're actually opening up your own facility. Yep. That's huge.
Yep.
That is huge. So I'm really proud of you. Hold on just a second. We have some other folks in here that that are also in the nonprofit sector, and I want to make sure that I get to bring them out as well, because they don't understand how pharmacists do. And was my myth debunked, right? We don't.
Oh, yes.
Yeah, like we do this for real, in real life.
In real life.
In real life. Listen, we'll be right back with you. Let me just bring in doctors. And it's good when you can do it with your people, right? You can do it with your spouse. You can do this thing, by yourself if you want to, but you can do this with your spouse. And I'm excited because we have a couple on who has done some phenomenal things. They also have a nonprofit. They both have finished up at Howard University, which is the best, right? Hey, how you guys doing? I'm so excited because I'm usually by myself.
We're live. Should we just wait and see? I think we are. All right.
You're on. We are live, baby. We are in here. Awesome. Hey, Yvette, thank you for watching. Oh, thank you, sir. This is great info. Thank you, Yvette. She always chimes in. So, Doctors Carlisha and Andrew, look, this is what married people do for real. Even though we're pharmacists, I'm excited to have you all. Welcome to the show. Can you hear me? Uh-oh. If you're trying to get straight, there you go. Hey, can you hear me? See me? Can you hear me? I don't think they can hear me. That's all right. We deal with these technical things from time to time. Let me see if I can. Can you hear me? Let me see. I can shoot them a message. It happens. It happens. Always. Whenever you have greatness, something always tries to come up in the way. But it's all good. Hey, can you hear? No. We can't hear them. All right. So I think they're trying to get it together. But listen, while they're getting it together, Let me see if we have a studies Chrome. Yes. Oh, you can. Oh, Neil. Okay, Neil is here. Okay, let's see what we can do. I think they're trying to get on. Oh, yeah, here we go. Awesome. Oh, that is so much better. Can you hear me?
Yes. We can hear you.
Woo! I love it when a plan works out. Listen, let me tell you, that's something that pharmacy, that's what we do, right?
Yes, it is.
That's what we do. I mean, when the printer breaks and when the person come in, because they need that ointment, right? They haven't used all year, but because the storm is coming,
they need it right now.
Listen, and you close at 5 o'clock and it's for what, 59? Yeah, that's when y'all need it.
Technicians leaving. Go
That's
home.
Right. Exactly. We gotta get home too. We gotta get home too. Listen, it's really comforting to talk to you guys. Listen, Doctors Carlisha and Andrew are no joke. Now, when I think about staying out your lane, it's no other couple that I think about. Now, listen, they have been on the trail for so long. Every single year, their nonprofit, which is Dissipating Disparities, and I actually have their website up because, listen, they give some amazing information, and we're going to actually go back and backtrack. Look, DDI.GA. Soon is going to have to say DDI-USA because you are. I'm saying, listen, y'all are taking over.
I like that.
Listen, you heard it first. I'm gonna need a little something. It don't have to be a lot. I just need a little something from y'all.
I was waiting for that. I was like,
you were waiting for it. See, I'm here for you. I'm here for you. Listen, I want you guys to just share a little bit of your story because what you are doing as pharmacists is amazing. Like we just heard some information from Beehive and like all the amazing stuff that they're doing. And I really think that nonprofits are taking over, not just in pharmacy, but especially in pharmacy. And for a lot of pharmacists, we're afraid to step out from behind the counter. Mm-hmm. We're afraid. We want to just give y'all the ointment, but like we want to do some other stuff too. We want to do some other stuff. And you guys are doing that. And you're also taking over with PHS, which is the U.S. Public Health Service, which a lot of people are not familiar with. So give us a little flavor. Come on, married couple taking over DEI USA.
I know, right? So I guess I'll get started.
I'll go ahead and let my queen get started.
Thank you, Boo. Yeah, so I'm Dr. Carlisha Gentles, also Lieutenant Commander Gentles. I'm not sure, Dr. Ferguson, if you can still hear me, but I'm here, but I can't see you. And so pretty much, Andrew and I founded a nonprofit organization, Dissipating Disparities Incorporated. Our mission is to eliminate disparities and empower communities, primarily in the areas of health and wellness, because of course we're healthcare practitioners, social action, education, and financial literacy. And it's so funny because one of the speakers I think you'll hear about a little bit later is Dr. McCants. And she is part of the reason or a part of where this idea even started, actually having a chance to work under her as a student with her nonprofit at that time. So essentially, we do our best to put on different events and things in the Central Georgia community to bring a level of exposure that wasn't there before. There's so many missed opportunities, so much misinformation, and just trying to do our part to break that cycle of, oh, I wish I knew then what I know now, but let's start giving that information back. Let's talk about what it means to trade stocks at the age of 13. Let's talk about what it means to give back and be a social advocate for your community and for your fellow colleagues. So that's a big part of what DDI does, whether it's bringing health fairs or financial seminars or just filling in those gaps and holes in what we can do in our community. And not that we always know everything, but we know someone who can definitely fill that gap in that hole within our network. Yeah, so I think that's a big part of what we do and trying to give back and do our parts here in the Ward 8 community because we are residents here in DC and Southeast represent. So we try to make our impact there as well.
Yeah, and I think it probably just really good points, babe. It really just talks about the mindset that maybe sets you apart. So after graduation from pharmacy school, there's a journey of trying to figure out your niche, what is your passion in pharmacy? But like, for example, for Carlisha and myself, we often said, it's hard for you to go to work every day and go into your neighborhood, pull up the garage door and pull your car in, close your garage door and pretend essentially that there's nothing happening around your community. Pretend, for example, that, your community doesn't need you. It's really hard for us to have that mindset especially when, for example, we could literally be, our neighbor could have had a heart attack, or our neighbor could have used an advice from a pharmacist like ourselves
Exactly.
to kind of help be empowered with actual information. So I think for us, it really boiled down to, in many ways, speaking up in areas that we knew there was an absence of voice.
Yeah.
And the recognition that we as pharmacists more so can be powerful community advocates, regardless of where we live, regardless of where we practice. We have a voice. We have the ability to be community champions. And it really just speaks to, okay, now we have all this. Are we going to put up or shut up? And really, that's really probably the best way. I think we can say that on there, right?
I definitely
yes, you can listen. This is my show. You can say whatever you want to say.
And definitely stepping outside of your lane, because as a pharmacist, it's not something you typically would see yourself doing. Or I think that's a big part of Andrew and I with either our professional careers, our personal goals, is just stepping outside of our box. Even when that comes to creating our own niche as a clinical pharmacist in Community of Hope at a clinic that didn't even have a pharmacy footprint or anything like that. So just trying to do what we can to impact our community, but in a different way.
Exactly. So I think for us too, Ryan had talked about public health, United States Public Health Service. And I'm not sure, Ryan, can you guys hear us over there?
Yeah, I can hear you well. Yes, we can. Yes. Can you hear me?
I'm not sure. We want to make sure that, And so essentially, for us, when we talked about United States Public Health Service, Carlicia and I had been practicing for about, let's see, we don't want to give our ages away, but anyway, we were practicing for
we're not that old.
And, we were in the grind, talking about the grind. It was like working 9 to 5 every day. For us, we felt that after a while of working every day, the money was great. But the question really came up, like, what are we missing in our lives? Like, we were missing
that true sense of purpose.
Exactly. And we felt it. Like, for me, I felt this sense of professional boredom, and it's like, well, Andrew, how could you feel that way? You have a great job. You're working 9 to 5. You're in critical care pharmacy. You're doing consultant pharmacy on the side. You're working in another hospital. And at one point, I had about 3 to 4 different jobs. And yes, the money was great, but I still had a sense of professional boredom. Like, I felt in many ways that I could be doing more to impact patients. I felt there was ways to help advance the profession of pharmacy. And I also felt like at the same time where I was in my that time in my life, I was, one of the cogs in this giant factory line. And I wanted to be not part of that. I wanted to be the person to be the healthcare provider. I wanted to be the person to help say, let's advance the pharmacy profession. And so,
being able to practice at the height of your license. I think sometimes it can be stifling depending on what setting that you're presently in, but willing to take that step. Let's take that charge and push forward.
Exactly. And that really just kind of led us down the pathway towards pursuing a career with United States Public Health Service. But before that, we said, hey, we're going to get up and move the family. And it was just me and my wife.
Yes. That was bold. That was really bold.
Relocated to Arizona, which was obviously, we went from, what was the nearest drive time to get to the airport in Georgia?
20 minutes. In Georgia, it would take us maybe 15 minutes to get to the airport to a 3-hour drive. And no, Ryan, we cannot hear you.
No, you can't hear me. Can you hear me now? No.
Maybe I should go out and log back in again.
Okay, well, they're coming back in. But one of the things I wanted to say about that, which Andrew hit on, and it doesn't matter if you're a pharmacist or something else, is that you can really have an experienced professional board. Like, it's a real thing. And not just because you're a professional pharmacist and you're have a good income or whatever it is. Like, this is real. And people feel like that. So don't ever feel like you are doing something and it's not natural to feel professional boredom. It really and truthfully is. And they really hit on that. And I appreciate you guys, because something else you said that really stuck with me was, you can go home, drive, pull in your garage or close your door and mind your business, right? You have a salary. It's 2 of you.
Yeah, you can definitely do that.
Salary, right? And just, living your life. You have, a child, you're in your prime of your life. You have so many different things, but you still paused to think about other people, or what else can I do outside of my lane, or what other people expect for me to do. And I think that's so key.
Yeah,
Yep.
That's so
definitely
cute.
a good point, because you always hear it say, or even within the church and how we grew up, to whom much is given, much is required or expected.
At 100. Preach
And
now.
I definitely think that's a big part of it.
Yes, listen. And you dropped a name. You dropped a name about somebody who you felt was pivotal in this transition for you guys. And so listen, we only bring the best on the show. So
Yes.
I have got to introduce her, because you can't even do a show about pharmacy and not talk about this woman, especially if you've ever been in the Florida area or in the Washington, D.C. area.
Exactly.
Oh my gosh. Listen, we're going to come back around to you guys. I don't want you guys to leave, but I have got to take a second and introduce our next guest, Dr. Tamara Foreman. Look, I knew when she was Dr. Tamara Foreman. Now she's Dr. Foreman McCann. And don't get messed up, because she will put you all the way in your place. Yes. Look, we all had her. I didn't know you guys had her as a preceptor. Who have you not precepted, Doc?
Oh my goodness.
Don't tell everybody I was the worst student, because we already know. But that's okay.
You are not the worst. You are not the worst. Thank
we
you.
are out here. Congratulations. Listen, first of all, thank you again for joining. I'm excited about today's show, because listen, I'm excited just because we get a chance to talk. We get to talk to people that are in my industry. And, I'm always trying to encourage folks, but to do it with my people, which are all my people, but my people is so comforting. Listen, recently you got such a huge job. Not that you weren't already doing this and so much more, because I want you to tell us a little bit about your nonprofit ventures as well that we know so much about. But listen, DC Board of Pharmacy Chair.
Oh my gosh.
Cute confetti. Cute confetti. Like, this is where you take the hat off, right? And you just like toss it around. Yeah, like, I'm so proud of you and congratulations. How does it feel?
Thank you so much. I am very humbled by the whole experience. First of all, you guys just make me seem like I'm doing so much, but I'm really not. Like, so for the listening audience, I'm gonna have to go back to
lies, child. Listen, I can tell you, it's my show. I can say
I forgot the name of the group. Public Enemy. Don't believe the hype. Don't believe the hype.
But, oh my goodness.
But they already, Andrew didn't want to state his age, but I'm going to go ahead and say that I did graduate from pharmacy school from Florida Agricultural and Mechanical University in Tallahassee, Florida. In 2001. So I'm almost 20 years of practicing pharmacist. And in terms of just staying out your lane, at FAMU, they pretty much taught us that it wasn't nothing that we couldn't do. So whatever we wanted to do, if you had the passion for it, there was a way to make it happen. And so if it wasn't already happening, then we just made it happen. And, we let our passion drive us, because in a profession, the money is going to come. Mm-hmm. But there's so much that the gentle said, to whom much is given, much is required. And that is a fact. As a pharmacist, the bottom line is, the first thing that you are going to be is a community leader, even just based on your salary bracket alone. You're going to have influence. And if you if you work in a community pharmacy setting, the people are going to see you. And especially us graduating from HBCUs, being trained to work with the people in our community, they're excited to see us. They are so excited to be able to connect to us and talk to us and have somebody that can relate to them. And so it's our responsibility to make sure that we uplift our community in all ways, especially in healthcare. So that was just always a passion of mine. It's just always been a requirement, pretty much. And I also want the listening audience to understand that you don't have to get paid for the things that you need to do. There's a lot of things in your career, or a lot of ways that you can make your impact, and it may not be your 9 to 5, and sometimes it might be. As a nonprofit that they did mention, which was CMS Health Initiatives, that I started with my classmate, Ivan Cephas, and 2 Howard grads, Keisha Nicholas O'Reilly and Talani Jones Smith. And, so it was always a FAMU Howard connection from the
Yes, it was. And the funny thing, I think we all passed through there at one point.
Yep.
We all passed through there. Listen, when I was starting my nonprofit, who was the first person I came to? You on my board.
Yeah,
on my board, and we ran with that thing. But you've been in the game for a minute, and I think when you say I'm not doing any particular, listen, I think the people who are really doing the most are the people who feel like they're not doing anything because you're so busy running the race and doing the thing that needs to be done. Like you said, by default, you're a leader regardless.
Mm-hmm.
So the fact that we have the ability to transcend all of these different areas is amazing. And it's just awesome in and of itself. And you always bring people up under you, which is something that I really feel is humbling for me because it encourages me. As you can see, it's encouraging other people as well, other pharmacists that are here. And I'm just excited. Like I said, I know we have that family connection. You went to school with my husband.
Yeah,
So,
I love him so much. Trey got me through. I wouldn't even be a pharmacist if it wasn't for your husband. So I always tell Trey all the time, I wouldn't even have gotten through pharmacy school if it wasn't for him. So I owe him everything that we have right now. So.
Oh my God. Listen, I'm going to tell him you said that. And I think we're going to really owe you dinner or something. So, like, don't say nothing else because I don't know how we're going to be able to thank you no more because I'm just trying to tell you. You have done so much.
No.
Listen, it really is a small world. And, we're talking about pharmacy today, but in general, whatever genre you find yourself in, whatever work field, for those who are watching, those who want to watch the replay, just know that it is okay to have your circle with you and also to veer out. Like Andrew said, that professional boredom, like, I don't want to say that I was bored, but like you said, you also know you have a standard. Mm-hmm. And like you said, if you see something, do something. You got to do something, go ahead.
And you have the ability to do it. And so I really wanted to try to encourage people to really get involved in their board of pharmacy, and in their local pharmacy association, because while these are not paid positions, these are the decision makers in the field that's going to impact how you are able to serve your patients and how you get compensated in it. Mm-hmm. And also making sure that we increase access to minority healthcare professionals and making sure my job is to make sure that minority pharmacists, minority people, young men and women who may have had criminal records and wanted to get their life together and really make a good living as a pharmacy technician have that type of access. And you can't make that type of access if you're not in a decision-making capacity. Absolutely. And you got to put yourself out there to basically to do it for your people. So that's why we're here.
That is so awesome. Let me tell you, I feel good knowing you making decisions for me. Because I know how you get down. You say, oh, we're not doing what? Oh, no, we're doing it today. I know how you get down. Listen, I'm excited. I don't want you to leave. We have one more guest that I want to introduce. And the funny thing about, pharmacy is that it gives you this flexibility to where you're able to do so many different things. Now, we've heard from a lot of people who are doing nonprofit ventures, right? And that sounds great. You may say to yourself, I have no clue how to do that. But this particular gentleman, he not only, listen, he's phenomenal. I'm going to let him tell you a story, but he's worked in oncology. He's worked in acute care. He's done a whole lot of things in pharmacy in of itself. But then he also said, you know what? I have an interest in this other thing over here. And this other thing that I'm mentioning is the real estate market. Now, you may say, wow, that's totally out your lane. Yep. But guess what? He's doing it, and he's doing it well. And I want to bring him on because this is encouragement to somebody who's thinking, oh, my gosh, I'm a pharmacist. I'm an attorney. I'm a medical provider in some other fashion, a dentist, whatever. And I want to do something else, but I'm afraid what people may say. Well, I have a guest who can tell you all about how he feels when he goes to the bank and he does what he has to do. None other than Dr. Neil Vora. Neil, we're bringing you on in just a second.
Hey there.
Neil, how are you? Dr. Vora.
Thanks so much for having me. Pleasure to be here.
No, thank you for joining me. As you can see, we have a whole lot of pharmacists on doing a whole lot of different things. But I really love your story. It's so unique when you think about pharmacists, even though I know that there are other pharmacists who are probably doing exactly what you're doing. And I know you can give us some more background about that. But I'm just excited because you really do hit the epitome of staying out your lane when it comes to fields, right?
Oh,
so
yeah.
A little more about what you're doing and how you decided that, you know what, it looks different, but this is what I'm doing.
Yeah, absolutely. Well, first of all, I have some big shoes to fill. After hearing, Gentle Family and Tamara, I mean, these guys are doing some interesting things. So what I'm doing is completely, like you said, out of my lane, completely outside of pharmacy. But I've a little bit of background. I've always had a strong interest in business, marketing, and real estate in general. It's always been my passion. So I figured, for a while, when I first graduated from Howard back in 2009, I worked in the community setting for about 6 to 8 months, and as a pharmacy manager there, and it was a great experience. Kind of got my feet wet in the world of pharmacy. It was an awesome experience. I don't want to knock that in any way, and I was able to help a lot of patients just by giving them advice on their medications and so much. But I guess, I had that itch and that curiosity in my back of my mind. I was like, I want to do something else. And, I just had this urge to do something else. And around that time I got, I had a call from a headhunter who called me and saying, hey, we have a clinical pharmacist position available at a home infusion company. And where we pretty much, for those of you who are not familiar with home infusion, it's basically specialize in IV medications for patients who are at home. So what we do is we prepare IV medications in our clean room, and we have nurses that actually go out to see the patients in their homes, and we actually deliver the medications and all their supplies, and they get the therapy in their home. For example, like chemotherapy for an extended amount of time. So I was doing that for a while, and I got promoted to a general manager and director of pharmacy for about a couple of years. And it was a solid experience, a great experience. I was on call on the weekends, so pretty much all days of the week. Mm-hmm. And this is before I had kids. And so right around that time when I found out I was going to expect my first son, I was like, all right, this is a great job, but I need something else that is, for my number one priority is my work and my family is and most family tops it all for me. Mm-hmm. I had to find that balance, and luckily, with the federal government, the work is so satisfying. I absolutely love what I do there, and at the same time, it gives you a really great work-life balance where I'm home on time to spend time with my kids, and I'm still making a difference in the world of pharmacy. Right around that time, like around last year, I always had this curiosity. Okay, like what about real estate? What about because every time while other people like I know like my. I don't know. They do fun things, and I do geeky things at night, right? When I'm trying to sleep and I'll pull up Redfin on my phone, and I'm like, what are the houses that sold in the area? What are the comps? And like I do weird stuff at night. All right,
it's not weird. It's your passion.
And so I was like, all right, let me dive into this a little bit more. And so last year, I got my license in Virginia and Maryland.
Okay.
As a realtor, and I recently joined Keller Williams Metro Center out in Tyson's Corner. Okay. And it's been going great so far. I joined a great team called KMC Homes, and it's just the three of us. It's me and two other partners, and we're just kind of tag teaming the real estate market together. And it's been a fantastic experience so far. I think a lot of people have this misnomer in their head, and I think it's completely natural to feel this way. They think, okay, well, I went to school to become a lawyer. I went to school to become a doctor or a pharmacist or anything, right? And they think that that's the only purpose that they have in their life is to just do what they went to school for. Right. And I finally, and I think many people probably struggle with this. They probably think, well, and they kind of, and like I think what the Gentles said, they they reached a point of like professional boredom, right? Mm-hmm. Where it's like I love what I do, but I was like I need more. I need to do something. I need to follow their passions. And I think you had a link on your website to link to Idris Elba, who said that who kind of mentioned that thing like stay out of your lane, and that and I was watching videos like that on YouTube, and I was like, you know what, I think I need to do something else in my life, and it's been great. And there's so many different ways, and my whole thing is I want to impact people in a positive way. Not only, you can impact people through the world of pharmacy, through healthcare, but at the same time, you could also, purchasing a home or selling your home is probably a huge milestone event in anyone's life. Yeah. It's the biggest purchase anyone can make, or the largest transaction you could probably go through. And so just to be able to be part of that experience with the family and share their excitements, and it's a great feeling. It's a great feeling. And so absolutely love it. And I really encourage anybody who is even remotely, even like sitting on the fence, like, well, forget real estate. Like if it's some other passion that you have, please pursue it, because you know what, we have a finite amount of time on this planet, right? And
we don't know what that is.
Exactly.
We don't know how long it is. We don't know how long we have.
Exactly.
I appreciate your story because you're transparent about that. And say, it may look a certain way. Now look, Neil, I'm gonna say this real quick. You gave us all the pretty stuff. It looks good. It's wonderful. and it is. But let's just get to the chase. Have you experienced anybody saying to you, "You're doing real estate"? Like, has anybody said that to you, and you felt kind of like, "Mind your business"?
Yeah, I get that. Well, when I applied to this my current brokerage, right? I had a lot of folks in the brokerage. They're like, "Oh, I've never seen a pharmacist who wants to become a realtor," and I was still taken back. And then I had some people also tell me like, "Hey, it kind of comes off as flaky because you don't know what you want to do. You're a pharmacist during the day, and then on the weekends you're a realtor."
Okay.
And you know what? And for a while, I was like thinking, I was like, maybe it does come off as it could. Maybe some people do things like, but in my eyes, I think, okay, well, I'm following what I want to do, right? And when I'm like 30 years from now, I don't want to be looking back at my prime years of my life and be like, this is something I want to do, and I let it slip.
Regret it. Yeah, you regret it. You can't live with regrets, and I think that was one of the major catalysts for me starting this podcast and inviting all of my friends here today. In general, each week. Is because like I actually had somebody tell me that like it's something I was working on and they said stay in your lane and I was like clearly you don't know me but it's just one of those things that kind of sets on you and I'm gonna shoot back over to one of our earlier guests. Don't leave, Neil, because we're gonna kind of come back and we're gonna do a little bit more conversation, but I want to bring Andrea back on because let me just bring her in. Hold on one second. I'm a little tech slow sometimes. Hold on, Andrea. Here we go. We bring you back in. All right, I think here we go. Hey, Andrea, thank you for hanging on in there. I know we have a lot of people with bounce and everything, but one of the things I wanted to go in a little deeper with you is that you host a lot of events and you've spoken a lot of places. I think she just got kicked off. Hold on. She's spoken a lot of places. She's done a lot of events, and that's one of the things that it really makes a difference when you're getting into the community and you're really putting your foot forward. It's one thing to say, hey, I want to do this, but when you're actually in there getting into it, it takes a lot of work. Let me see. Here we go. He's back in. You were sitting there so wonderfully the whole time, and then we got kicked right before. Such is life. Such is life. What can happen will happen, right?
Yeah, I lost connection.
No, it's fine. I'm glad you're back in. We were just chatting really quickly about, some of the events that we host and so many things and how it takes a lot of work and a lot of effort to run these nonprofits and to do these things outside of what you're already doing. Because even with Let's Be High, right? So now you have your facility, which I'm so happy for you and all the things that you're doing. Yeah, and you're also an author, so you're after my own heart. You're after my own heart. So congratulations again with that. I think that's still relatively new this year because I think 2 years ago we were talking about you wanting to write a book, and now you have done that, which is amazing. So congratulations. But listen, tell us a little bit more about some of the events and things that you host because that's how we actually interface. Sometimes we say, these nonprofits and things that we create, they're sort of for us, right? Like we said, that boredom we've been talking about a lot. But with the actual advocacy that we actually do is for the people. So tell us a little bit about some of the things that you're doing, some of the events that you host, and then we're going to kind of go into some of the other folks who are on the line, some of the events that they host. Real quick, just let us know some of the things that you're doing.
Yeah, well, we actually will go out into the community. So that's really our big thing is community outreach. But our biggest annual event is what I put on for National Women and Girls HIV Awareness Day. And we host our I'm a Queen Bee HIV awareness campaign. And we do a Queen Bee HIV event. And it's specific to women and girls at least 13 years of age and older. And we normally do a panel. We have free HIV testing. We have live entertainment. Outside of that event, we also do things for all the HIV awareness days. Maybe not all of them. Let me rephrase that. But for majority of them, we do. So we partnered with organizations like the NAACP. We partnered with the Urban League, the Young Professional Urban League here in Orlando, to do things during like in February for National Black and HIV and AIDS Awareness Day, World AIDS Day, National HIV Testing Day. So that particular part of our program is what I call Be Aware, where we help increase HIV awareness amongst the community throughout the Orlando, Central Florida area. And then other than that, we've actually been featured at Funk Fest, United States Conference on AIDS, We've been pretty much anywhere that will have us.
You are out
I
here.
really
You
have
being
partnered with a
humble.
lot of
You are out
churches,
here.
a lot of local businesses, and schools throughout the Orange County area. I actually just got an email today for Orange County Public Schools that I'm so excited about. But other than that, we do a whole slew of things.
You are out here. Can you hear me okay?
No, I can't hear you.
Uh-oh.
No,
We'll
I
pop
can't
back
hear
in.
you.
That's okay. It's okay. We're going to pop back in with Doc in just a minute. Sure, no problem. We're going to pop back in. Listen, I'm just excited to have all these guests, and I'm going to just really quickly bring the Gentles back in, as well as Dr. Foreman. We're going to get everybody in. I will even kick myself out so you all can chat. Let me get Dr. Vora in.
You're back.
We're back.
You're back, yes, and you can hear me. Fantastic, yes. Let me see. I'm going to kick myself out and get everybody.
All right. Tamara, you look so nice. Hey, Neil, how you doing?
How are you guys doing?
Hi.
Like a HU reunion.
It is. And fam.
And fam. All right. We got to recognize fam. We got to recognize
We got to recognize fam. Yeah. Florida's my home state, too, so.
We shut down the internet. Can y'all hear us?
Tamara, can you hear us?
Yes, I can hear you guys.
Okay, great. And we can hear you, Andrea. We can hear you.
Okay, good.
But I'm not sure if Ryan is doing something in the background, but I'm not sure. I can't hear her.
She's like a little scientist trying to combine everybody together.
I know. I think even with that, it's just like amazing for her to pull all of us in and to even be doing this herself. You know, I think often she's highlighting everyone else, but she is just as fabulous and super amazing. And pulling all of this and pulling it together and just even trying to pull other people out of their own way, you know, to see how great they are and just helping them see that it's okay to step outside your box and comfort zone. So thank you, Anissa, for doing that.
Gosh, I'm so humble. I am just grateful to have you all on. Every time I do the show, and I'm going to bring Dr. Dunn back on as well. I just, I know you can't hear me when I'm not in, so I just pop back in really quickly. I'm always honored. I always try to like fade to black a little bit so I can have you guys. And one of the funny things is with this podcast, like sometimes I feel like, okay, I don't know what I'm doing in the world right now. But I always say like, when you serve other people, no matter what, God is going to always take care of you. So listen, when I do this, I'm feel full. I'm excited to be able to share the gifts and talents that other people have and the things they have going on. Because the one thing about it is that I never want anybody to feel like you can't. I never want anybody to embrace the imposter syndrome. I never want anybody to say or feel like because they haven't seen it done doesn't mean it can't be or should not be done.
Yeah,
exactly. So, you know, this is, you all are a product of being here is a product of just that thought and that idea. So the person who told me no, the person who told me to stay in my lane, this is what has come from all of that. And so it was worth it. And I don't even feel anything bad about that or the person. I'm just glad that it matured the way that it did. So I'm going to leave you all with one question. You can hear my dog. Sorry, guys. One question is, you know, if you had just a statement just to lead to somebody else who's considering doing something different, something outside of their lane, if there is such a thing. I believe any lane I step in, that's mine.
Word.
Okay, that's why our tagline is command your life's highway, whatever that is, however many lanes it takes for you to feel fulfilled, however many lanes it takes for you to help and serve in your community. Like Dr. Foreman said, that's what you're supposed to. I'm sorry, Dr. McCann. Look, I'm old school. But whatever that is, whether it pays you or it doesn't, you're supposed to do it. Like I don't get a dime from this. Actually, I paid a lot more to have this platform set up a certain way because I only want to have it come out a certain way. But listen, it was worth it. It is worth it.
Yes, it was.
It's my responsibility to serve my community the best way I can. So I'm going to bring Dr. Dunn back in as well. And I'm going to step out. And I just want you all just to chat just for a quick second and let people know, give them some advice about, if you could give them one thing, what they could do or what you feel like they could do to encourage them to step outside of their comfort zone. So let me bring Dr. Dunn back in. I'm going to drop out.
All right. We can go ahead and start.
I think Dr. McCann's going.
Okay, go ahead.
Okay, I'm going to go ahead. So what I wanted to, the advice that I want to give is that if you can perceive it in your mind then at least take one step in terms of trying to make it happen.
Definitely.
Don't try to think about everything that needs to be done for you to do it, but at least start with the first step. So if that means that, you want to open up your own pharmacy, at least research and do the first step and research what are the laws or what has to happen in order for you to get that pharmacy. So don't overwhelm yourself with everything that has to be done in order for it to happen, but start with the first step.
I think that's
very good point.
That's good.
Yep.
Who wants to go next? All right, so I'll go next because Alicia's looking at me like, what are you going to say? So I am actually, going back to what we said before, I'm huge on professional boredom. Tamara knows very well, for example, that when I stepped into the opportunity to be the president for Washington, D.C. Pharmacy Association, it was not something that I'd done before. It was not something that, in pharmacy school I'd even done before as well. But I saw an opportunity, and once I saw an opportunity aligned with passion for pharmacy, everything made sense. And I was also surrounded by some really good people like Tamara to kind of just mentor you and say, hey, listen, here's some ideas to think about. So maybe my nugget would be try to surround yourself with those that have consistently challenged or pushed the ceiling for what pharmacy profession means or advancement of profession of pharmacy. To me, that means that they have a different mindset in how they address challenges in the profession. And those are people that I can definitely learn from. So I'd say be comfortable consistently challenging yourself to be the best pharmacist, the best person, the best human being possible.
Yeah, I think that's definitely a great one. So I guess I'll go next.
Choice.
So I think my point is kind of, it's actually two. Sorry, Anissa, I have two. But one goes back to when Dr. McCann said was, it's about just taking that first step and doing it. And I think I call it, don't have paralysis analysis, right? Because we sit and we will pretty much analyze ourselves out of what we think we may want to do, or it has to be so perfect, it has to be so right, or well, I'm used to being a pharmacist and working in this setting, but why not try something else? Why not? Who's to say you won't be great at that as well, just like you are about pharmacy? And then the second is definitely surrounding yourself with those great people and being comfortable with being uncomfortable. And I say that because I was recently selected to be a part of a Sibley Community Health Innovator Program where I had an opportunity to work with some great people to develop and work towards developing an app for health literacy. Who would think I'd ever be developing an app for health literacy, right? Or why not have a pharmacist of all people develop an app about health literacy? Because that's what we're accustomed to. We're used to breaking things down, making things easily digestible for our patients. So definitely being comfortable with being uncomfortable is my second point.
Good one.
Yeah.
Yep. So great advice, guys. And now one thing I would like to jump in and just almost kind of piggyback off what you guys said is, I think everyone has, to some certain degree, everyone has a fear of the unknown, right? Mm-hmm. But deep down, people have curiosities to try things. But I think it's the fear that holds most people back, right? And speaking from my own experience, when I got into real estate, and I had my license, and when I got my first client, I was as excited as I was freaking out. I was like, well, how am I going to do this? I don't know what to do. And once I started kind of immersing myself more into the world of real estate, I started getting a little bit more comfortable with it, right? And I think that goes with anything you try. So don't be afraid of trying anything that's out of the norm for you. Because like you guys said, you really don't know what's waiting for you until you actually walk through that door. So I encourage anyone who has any curiosities or other ambitions to try other things, just go ahead and do it. Take the plunge. And if it doesn't work out, it doesn't work out, right? But at least you never have regrets or doubt in your mind.
And it may not even end up looking like exactly what you wanted it to look at. Because Andrew did an excellent job as the president, even though he may not have felt like he achieved the things that he needed to achieve. But what he did was to help turn the Titanic. And if you look at the Washington, D.C. Association now, it is because of you helping to change the mindset of the community of pharmacists in the District of Columbia. So it's never going to look like, it may not ever look like, my nonprofit failed as far as I'm concerned. It caused me so much stress.
No. You're
You
the
know,
reason so many other nonprofits are like established. No, dude. No.
Yeah.
Sorry, not accepting it.
but I say that to say that, you know, even when I was doing it, I had no idea that it would have inspired as many people as it has. I had no idea that me doing that, I'm officially an expert in the field, but I never knew that when I was going through the fire, you know, like I thought that everything I was doing was wrong, but everybody else was looking at it and it had such an impact. So pretty much what you think it is never what it's going to be. And so, but Andrea Dunn, like you don't understand like how impactful what you're doing is and the small triumphs that you're having. And same thing with you guys too, Carlisha and Andrew. Just because you have a nonprofit does not mean that you can't make money. I don't want anybody listening to the podcast to be confused. The only thing that a nonprofit is that you don't turn a profit at the end of the year for you to give to stakeholders. But you as a salaried person should and will make a good, decent salary and be able to pay people decent salaries to serve the community. And you also have the opportunity to get different revenue streams in addition to just fee for services, but you can also apply for grants. So don't be confused by that whole nonprofit notion. You can really make a good living doing a nonprofit and pursuing your passions.
Yeah. Thank you,
Very good
Tamara.
point.
I would
Good point.
say, for my advice, I would say to take one step at a time and don't quit. And I think too, as like pharmacists, we all know like a lot of pharmacists are type A. We want everything to be perfect. And I'm just gonna say for me personally, that I feel like is something that has been a limitation on my part because I beat myself up all the time feeling like it's not
Yes.
perfect. And then I feel like I can't move. So Carlisha with the whole analysis paralysis, like I feel that. And a lot of times I'm doing so much more than what I think I am, but the one thing I feel like that has got me to where I am is I just haven't quit and I just take one step at a time. So I still work full time as a pharmacist practicing pediatric emergency medicine.
Ooh.
So I'm seeing a lot, I go through a lot, and people don't really understand how I'm still running, my nonprofit at the same time. But I just don't quit. Time management and just taking one step at a time. Like if you truly are passionate about what you want to do, just keep going because every little bit counts. And then
Yes.
never get complacent. Don't quit and just take one step at a time would be my advice to anybody to fulfill whatever dreams or passions that you want to do, because you can have like the best of both worlds. You can do more than what you physically think that you can. And I also think it's really important to make sure that you take time for yourself in the process of all of that. So like when Neil mentioned,
Say it
his
for the people in
family,
the back.
how that's
Say it again
important
for
to
the people
him,
in the back.
making sure that you still have all of those core elements in your circle and having the right people around you to help push you and build that team and that network of people is so important.
It is.
That's all I have to say.
Awesome.
You're like amazing closer here.
That's the whole line. Listen,
one thing. I think
spoken by somebody who is sitting in their conference room of their building, and all of these people telling you
it's like a little
what they're
mini
doing
reunion.
while they work a full-time job. Like, this is not for the faint of heart. I will admit that it is not for the faint of heart, but it can be done. Just going through all of these nuggets. I just want to thank you all again. I mean, seriously, I know your time is at a premium, as is all of ours, but I'm so excited that you would take the time out of your schedules to pour into other people, to pour into me. Like I'm full because of you all. So thank you. And enjoy the rest of Pharmacy Month and week. Turn up.
Turn up. Thank you for the opportunity.
And do some self-care. Yes.
Thanks for having us.
Thank
you so much.
Thank you, guys.
I'm sending out loves and hugs. Be sure, please share this live with folks even afterwards. Please be sure to like and share our page. I have one last event that I'm going to pop up really quickly. Let me see if I can drop myself out. I want to drop you guys out, but listen, I just want to say thank you. We also have an event coming up. I gotta take something out. Let me take myself out. Let's see. Sorry, Neil, I'm gonna drop out just quickly. Yeah, we have an event coming up, Stay Out Your Lane Vision Board event. It is taking place. Yes, look, I need y'all to come. It's November the 16th. I want to make sure that you all are there. It is not just a event, vision board event. Like, you know how you have these things and you sit there and you do all your paper, and it is that. It is some of that. But it is also us really strategically going through and showing you the steps that you need to take in order to really envision the life that you want over the next 12 months. So I want to make sure that you guys get in there. It is at stayoutyourlane.com/V as in Victor, B as in baby 2019. So with that, I'm going to close out. I just want to thank all my guests again, these phenomenal pharmacists. I'm excited to have you all. Again, thank you so much. And remember, you all can do whatever it is that you set your mind to. You have 5 examples in front of you, even just today. So if you're catching this on a replay, you remember you can reach out to any and all of our pharmacists. I have their information. Let me go right back so you can catch them on Instagram. So for Dr. Dunn, she is at Let's Beehive on Instagram. Doctors Andrew and Carlisha, Dissipating Disparities, also on Instagram, and they're at Dissipating Disparities, Inc. We also have Dr. Neil Voorhees on Instagram at NVPharmD. And we also have Dr. Tamara Foreman. I'm McCants, I'm sorry. I don't have hers up here. She's gonna kill me. I'm sorry, but I do have where you can reach her at the Board of Pharmacy. Let's see if we can get her up here. NABP-Pharmacy, Boards of Pharmacy, District of Columbia. So you can definitely reach any and all guests that we have at any time. So thank you again so much. And please, again, if you get a chance to check us out on Instagram, where's our Instagram? Stay Out Your Lane podcast. All right, you guys have a great night. And remember to act on purpose with purpose. Take care. Good night. Much love.